MCO still best method in flattening COVID-19 curve? MOSTI estimates 3 billion ringgit are needed for vaccine supplies. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. You're watching Updates at Noon with me, Azlani Adani. The implementation of Conditional Movement Control Order (CMCO) is still the best method in flattening the COVID-19 infection curve. According to Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, this strategy so far has proven effective in lowering the R0 value or infectivity rate in stages. Furthermore, this method also balanced the economic impact sustained by the country by still permitting economic sectors and businesses to operate.
Kalau kita menggunakan kaedah PKPB dan tempoh kita lihat lebih pada 2 minggu, kita dah mula nampak kesan tersebut. Iaitu kita telah berjaya menurunkan R0 daripada 2.2 ketika permulaan daripada 20 September tu sampai hari ini dah turun kepada 1.0. Kita terpaksa meningkatkan lagi usaha kita di lampangan iaitu kesihatan awam, tindakan kesihatan awam dan pengurusan COVID-19 untuk kita melandaikan sikit lagi R0 ni. Jadi target kita ialah 0.5.
Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham was answering a question from a reporter regarding the concern of an academic expert from a higher education institute who recently predicted an increase of 5,000 new cases in the following 2 weeks. Malaysia registered 4-digit and new daily COVID-19 cases for the second consecutive day as 1,032 individuals tested positive for the virus as of noon yesterday. Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham said the latest figure brings the tally of infections in the country to 35,425, with 10,339 of them are active cases.
Dimaklumkan pada hari ini, negeri Sabah mencatatkan jumlah tertinggi sebanyak 646 kes, iaitu bersamaan dengan 62.6% daripada jumlah keseluruhan kes positif harian. Negeri-negeri di Lembah Kelang pula mencatatkan 244 kes, iaitu bersamaan dengan 23.6%. Manakala wilayah Persekutuan Labuan pula mencatatkan 28 kes, iaitu bersamaan dengan 2.7% kes positif pada hari ini.
Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham explained that there are currently 82 patients being treated at the ICU, with 27 of them requiring ventilator support. He also said that 822 patients have recovered and were discharged from hospitals, raising the total recoveries to 24,815. There were 8 COVID-19 related deaths, with 7 of them reported in Sabah and another in Perak. With the latest fatalities, the country's death toll stands at 271. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health MOH identified 6 new COVID-19 clusters yesterday. According to Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham, they were detected in Sabah, Selangor, Negeri Sembilan and Putrajaya. The first, known as the Sandakan Prison Cluster, involved an index case identified through a screening process on 27th October. 299 individuals from this cluster have been screened, of which 39 were COVID-19 positive, while 254 individuals are still awaiting results. Meanwhile, the second cluster, dubbed the Diocese Cluster, was detected in Sandakan and Lahad Datu, where 3 index cases were found positive in a screening done on 23rd October. 16 more cases were detected following close contact screening, of all of which are being treated at the Lahad Datu Hospital. Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham said the third cluster, the Sepangga Cluster, was detected in Kota Kinabalu, where screenings on close contacts reveal another 7 positive COVID-19 cases. Furthermore, the fourth cluster was discovered discovered in the Petaling area, dubbed the Aero cluster, involving an index case identified through close contact screenings on 3rd November. And another 10 of 95 individuals screened were found positive. The 5th Lengkok cluster involves cases in Sepang, Seremban, Port Dickson and Rembau, and the index case was identified on 28th October and admitted to the Sungai Buloh Hospital. The 6th Kadin cluster involved cases in Putrajaya and Seremban, in which 32 individuals who were screened, 7 detected COVID-19 positive, 8 negative, while 17 others are still awaiting results. The Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, MOSTI, has estimated that 3 billion ringgit is needed next year for Malaysia to obtain the COVID-19 vaccine. According to its Minister Khairi Jamaluddin, the Finance Ministry has been informed of the amount for further consideration. Explaining further on the matter, he said the vaccine supply is expected to be acquired in the first quarter of next year, with priority given to the frontliners, which represent 3% of the country's population.
3% itu hanyalah wajaran pertama, adalah untuk kita diberikan secara fast track priority. Untuk makluman Kuala Selangor, perancangan kerajaan melalui jawatankuasa dan juga perbincangan dengan Kementerian Kewangan bagi tahun depan bukan setakat 1 bilion saja. Saya telah maklumkan kepada Menteri Kewangan yang sekurang-kurangnya kita perlu mengimunisasi 70% daripada rakyat Malaysia dan saya telah minta 3 bilion ringgit Malaysia.
Khairi further explained that Malaysia is in the final stages of negotiations to participate in COVID-19 Global Vaccine Access COVAX facility. He added that COVAX offered Malaysia the vaccine at the ceiling price of $21 or about 87 ringgit each. He said the ministry is still studying a few clauses in the COVAX agreement before signing the participation. Budget 2021, a continuity of economic recovery plans. The government has so far received some 6,641 suggestions for the budget 2021. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin says that most of the suggestions were focused on support and providing aid for the people, especially those affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. 5,335 of the suggestions were received via a special budget 2021 portal set up by the Ministry of Finance, MOF.
Daripada maklum balas yang paling banyak kita terima ialah untuk membantu hampir ke semua kumpulan masyarakat kita bagi membolehkan mereka ini melangsungkan kehidupan harian mereka. Ini termasuklah isu berkaitan dengan kos sara hidup. Macam mana kita nak menentukan harga barangan agar dapat ditetapkan ke satu paras yang berpatutan. Isu yang berkaitan dengan bantuan tunai. Yang ini yang sudah pun kita laksanakan amat begitu diharapkan, seperti bantuan sara hidup, bantuan prihatin secara tunai.
The government also received 1,156 memorandums relating to the budget 2021 for various organizations and associations and nationwide. The process to draft the 2021 budget is a bit more comprehensive than before and involves 97 focus groups comprising professionals, youth, community leaders and NGOs. The Prime Minister also said that the first focus of Budget 2021 is the well-being of the people, adding that it will not be an election budget. Tan Sri Muhyiddin explained that the budget will be tabled this Friday is a continuity from the stimulus packages that have been dispersed since the country was affected by the pandemic.
Yang penting sekarang inilah menangani masalah COVID. Ya, yang keduanya menguruskan masalah ekonomi. Ini dua perkara yang pokok yang paling penting. Dia tak ada masuk perkara ketiga pilihan raya pun. Walau pilihan raya, tak pilihan raya, yang penting ialah membantu rakyat. Dan bagaimana pula nasib rakyat nak dibela, setakat yang sudah kita buat, kita dapat mengurangkan bebanan. Tapi saya tahu di bawah sana, bila ekonomi tidak dapat bergerak sepantas yang kita harapkan. Umpamanya kita satu peringkat dulu sudah landai kan kita punya masalah COVID. Rakyat sudah agak kembali seperti hampir sedia kala. Tapi lantas gelombang ketiga COVID datang semula dan gelombang ketiga ini lebih mencabar
As such, the Premier stressed that the focal point of the budget does not include the election. He also assured that the government is committed in solving the difficulties faced by all levels of community. In another related development, Barisan Nasional will continue giving their undivided support towards the Budget 2021, which will be tabled by the government in Parliament tomorrow. According to a statement by its chairman, Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, a total of 43 BN Parliament members have agreed to back Budget 2021. Furthermore, he said all the BN MPs also agreed to support all bills to be tabled by the government. However, they had also agreed for Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin to consider two things to be implemented in the budget. Firstly, extending the loan moratorium for a period of 6 months or part of it for those who qualified under the B40 and M40 groups. Second, BN MPs want the Prime Minister to consider approving the withdrawal of money from Account 1 of the Employees Provident Fund EPF for those who are eligible and meet certain conditions. Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid, who is also UMNO President, said he had already sent a letter to the PM to inform him of the support and agreement among the BN MPs. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Home Affairs, KDN, expressed their hopes for a bigger allocation in Budget 2021 for security personnel, specifically regarding staff welfare and asset usage. Minister Datuk Sri Hamzah Zainuddin said the allocation is crucial to ensure all personnel are able to perform their duties, especially in efforts to curb COVID-19. He explained that there are currently 110,000 personnel from various agencies on COVID-19 duties such as the Royal Malaysia Police PDRM, RELA and Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency MMEA. Therefore, an increase in allocation could provide help for the frontliners who might contract the virus while on the field.
Kita berikan keutamaan kepada mereka buat masa ini. Tambah pula mereka menjadi frontliners yang ada dari segi kepentingan keluarga mereka. Contohnya nak memastikan mereka menggunakan vehikel yang selamat, menggunakan bot-bot yang lebih canggih.
He said this after attending the Bicara Narrative program in Angkasa Puri. Through Budget 2020, KDN has received an allocation of 16.9 billion ringgit announced last year. Esports Kuala Lumpur Association ESKL President Hisham Darrow said electronic sports or esports, which are gaining popularity among various age segments, should be given special emphasis in Budget 2021. He said in the face of new norms affecting all economic and sports sectors in the country, esports could prove to be the most effective platform to help the community comply with government directives such as holding online tournaments and webinar sessions. Hisham said there should be special emphasis on educating the community on approaching esports in a healthy and responsible manner. According to him, Malaysia is also lagging behind other countries in the region in terms of infrastructure and grassroots development. Hisham is also confident that if this development allocation can be provided, the cooperation between the government and the respective association and the community will definitely enable Malaysia to produce a more world-class professional athletes. In the meantime, Hisham said the esports ecosystem also included various elements that could contribute to the country's economic development, such as the organising of tournaments, coaching and content creation. Kuala Lumpur Hockey Association KLHA President Datuk Sri Megat Shariman Azharuddin has been slapped with an 18-month suspension from all hockey-related activities after he was found to have breached the Malaysian Hockey League MHL Tournament Code of Conduct. The Malaysian Hockey Confederation, MHC, in a statement said its executive board via a Zoom meeting had unanimously agreed to uphold the findings of the MHC Disciplinary Committee that Datuk Sri Megat Shariman had breached Clause 6 of the code. The parent body, however, said Datuk Sri Megat Shariman can appeal the decision with the MHC's Appeals Committee under Article 14 within 14 days after receiving the letter from MHC. Datuk Sri Megat Shariman had reportedly breached COVID-19 safety protocols at the 2020 Razak Cup hockey competition in September, where he was seen bringing his family, including children, to watch the match between Kuala Lumpur and Negeri Sembilan at the National Hockey Stadium in Bukit Jalil. It was the second punishment imposed on Datuk Sri Megat Shariman, who was previously suspended from all hockey activities for breaching the MHC Code of Conduct regarding his statements to the media and MHC sponsors on the MHL prize money of his team, Hockademy, which emerged 2020 MHL Women's Champions. Kedah Darul Aman Football Club is set to have a new owner soon as the private company has agreed to purchase 80% of the club's share. Kedah Football Association KFA President Kedah Menteri Besar Muhammad Sanusi Mat Noor said that the remaining 20% of share will remain under KFA.
Kerana pemilikan saham dia besar dan banyak keputusan-keputusan tentang pembentukan pasukan, pengurusan kelab ni akan dikendalikan oleh syarikat ni lah. Saya berasa lega sikit pasal beban kewangan untuk mengendalikan bola sepak ni memang tinggi, di luar kemampuan keuangan.
Speaking to reporters after chairing the Kedah State Executive Council meeting yesterday, he said KFA meanwhile will focus on local leagues such as the Menteri Besar's Cup, which will be held again next year. Muhammad Sanusi also said that the purchase of shares by the company was still pending certain legal procedures. Perak is optimistic of carving out a win against Kelantan United in the first round of the 2020 Malaysia Cup that will take place at the Perak Stadium on Saturday. Perak Football Association PAFA Vice President Dato' Adli Shah Ahmad Tah said he was confident based on the commitment and determination shown by the players, especially during recent training sessions. He said the experience that Perak players have is also an advantage. However, he reminded them not to underestimate the opposition because surprises can occur anytime, especially in the current knockout format. Based on the draw, if the Boss Gurus, who are also 2018 Malaysia Cup champions, get past Kelantan United, they would either face Terengganu FC or PJCT in the quarterfinals. Dato' Adli Shah, who is also the team manager, expressed relief that all of the squad's main players were injury-free, increasing their chances to go all the way. On the termination of Australian import player Anthony Golak's contract 2 weeks ago, he said that it was due to personal reasons and that there were no issues between the defender and the club. He also said that it would not affect the Bosqueros' focus on the Malaysia Cup campaign as there are several local players in the squad who play in the same position and can fill the void left by Golak. It's at noon. In our top story, Mosti estimates 3 billion ringgit needed for vaccine supplies. Tune in to News at 10 coming up at 10 p.m. on Saluran Berita RTM on My Previews channel 123. You can also stream the news by surfing RTM's MyClick. Thank you. I'm Azlan Yadani. Stay tuned TV2. Goodbye for now.